From WBKO, your hometown news leader, this is 13 News at 4.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us here for 13 News at 4. I'm Gene Burke.
And I'm Lauren Hansen. Gene, I'm out here at the medical center where history took place today as the first COVID-19 vaccines were distributed across the state and across our nation, including right here in Bowling Green. Just a couple of hours ago at 2 o'clock, Dr. William Moss received the first COVID-19 vaccine. So we'll have more on that coming up a little bit later at 4. But for right now, it's really cold out here. So let's send it over to Shane.
Yes, it is pretty chilly outside. Lauren, thanks so much. And yeah, readings are going to stay on the cold side tomorrow, although it will be not as cold as it was today, thanks to perhaps a little bit more sun in here on Tuesday. Then we got another storm system arriving for Tuesday night to Wednesday. Mainly rain with this. There's a chance that a little bit of wet snow could mix in for our far northern counties, but that would be it. And we don't expect anything significant to come from that. Otherwise, it's going to stay chilly for quite some time, as you'll see momentarily in the 7-day forecast. Couldn't get the clearing to come our way in time in Bowling Green to see much sunshine today. There's Doppler Max HD. Back edge of the clouds running from about Hawesville now down to Madisonville, then farther south to about Martin, Tennessee. And that clearing line will continue to work its way eastward as the evening progresses, but again, not getting into Bowling Green until after sunset. Thus, we remain overcast as we've been all afternoon long. Monday, if there was a Monday. Here's AAA Systems live weather cam. Cloudy skies have kept temperatures chilly. 33 right now at the airport, and a northwest wind to make it feel even colder. Wind chill value at 28 degrees. That's what you need to dress for while heading out the door. Bear River Lake with clouds. The temperature there is a chilly 32. It is a nippy 31 right now in Franklin as you view the Simpson County Courthouse. And on a cold Monday afternoon, Munfordville and Hart County checks in with clouds at 34 degrees. It is 30 right now in Lexington. 38, a little bit warmer to the west and northwest of us, where they did get the sunshine back today for Evansville, Paducah at 39 degrees. Nashville, though, cold at 35. And there's that wind coming at us from the northwest. It's not extremely strong, but it is enough to drive those wind chill factors into the 20s. And that's where they've been for much of this afternoon across much of our region. Feeling like 21 right now in Lexington, 28. Our wind chill factor currently in Bowling Green. And it's cold all across the lower Ohio and Tennessee Valley region today. Temperatures in the 40s as far south as Mississippi and Alabama. High pressure to control now over the Midwest. You look out toward the Intermountain West, we see some flakes flying across Wyoming, Colorado, toward Rapid City, where the temperatures are in the teens right now. And low pressure is gaining steam right now, moving out of the front range of the Rockies. We'll head east tomorrow, and then we'll arrive in the Ohio Valley tomorrow night. And that's going to be our next rainmaker. We'll let you know how much rain we could be looking at from our next storm system. And we'll look at the rest of your 7-day first at 4 coming up in just a few minutes. Gene?
Thank you, Shane. And first at 4, history was made in Bowling Green today as the first COVID vaccines were delivered to the medical center. The Food and Drug Administration issued an emergency use authorization for the Pfizer vaccine on Friday. Lauren Hansen joins us live in Medical Center with a look. Hey, Lauren.
That's right, Gene. It didn't take long for that emergency authorization for the vaccines to be sent across the country, including right here at the medical center in Bowling Green, where the first doses were given just a couple of hours ago. And I have to tell you, when I got the notification that they had received the vaccines, that we were a go to do the COVID-19 vaccines, I welled up. I got tears in my eyes thinking about the Kentuckians who have been affected by COVID-19 and those that we've lost, including one of the medical center's own, Dr. Rebecca Shadowin. And so this is definitely a game changer, as the medical center likes to say. They say, but we have to keep our guard up still as well. We have to continue to wear our mask, to remain socially distant, to practice proper hygiene with washing your hands. So they say, while this might be the beginning of the end, we're not quite there yet. We have to get Kentuckians vaccinated, and we're going to actually talk to the first person who was vaccinated a little bit later, and we'll hear from them tonight on 13 News at 5 and 6 o'clock. And while few Kentuckians have officially received the vaccine, some are hesitant and fear its side effects. However, side effects from vaccines are nothing new. Similar to the flu vaccine, doctors say the COVID shot can cause soreness, fever, and a headache. Doctors say major side effects are rare and were not common during the COVID trials.
Over 200 years that we've had vaccines, the safety profile of the great majority of vaccines is excellent. I mean, there are side effects, they're rare. Most of the time, they're very mild, other than just a little bit of a mild illness after you've had the vaccine.
Doctors are worried the mild side effects will keep people from getting the second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. They want to reiterate these are nothing new. Now, 3 Kentucky hospitals, U of L Hospital, Baptist Health Lexington, and the medical center right here in Bowling Green, each received 975 doses today and began their vaccination plans. The governor watched today as 5 U of L health doctors and nurses who've been working on the front lines to help keep Kentuckians safe during the pandemic received their vaccinations in public.
When I walked over here, I just lost my 27th patient today. So the vaccine I took today was for her family and for the other 26 that I've lost, but for all of the other families and patients that I've held their hands.
The initial shipment of the 2-dose Pfizer-BioNTech COVID vaccines arrived in Kentucky yesterday. And now to the latest in Kentucky's coronavirus numbers. Governor Andy Beshear announcing 1,802 new cases today. There are more than 224,000 total positive cases across the state. 17 deaths were reported today, and the positivity rate remains at over 8%. Now to COVID-19 across the nation, as Rena Roy reports, today's vaccinations mark a major turning point 9 months into the pandemic, with COVID-19 cases, hospitalizations, and deaths still rising in most parts of the U.S.
As they roll up their sleeves and get that shot. For the first time since the pandemic began 9 months ago, healthcare workers are feeling a profound sense of hope.
We've been through so much that this was the first step towards hope, towards getting to a place where we do not have to worry about ourselves, about our loved ones, about our families.
An especially emotional moment for this doctor in New York. He was one of the first in the U.S. to be vaccinated today after experiencing loss himself. His uncle died from the virus and another in his family is currently hospitalized.
I saw a lot of devastation. I saw it personally in my family. This is a major turn, the most significant turn during this pandemic.
Relief and excitement coast to coast in this pivotal moment marking the beginning of the end of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Let's knock this thing out. We're gonna wait 9 months and a couple weeks for this.
2.9 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine, which is believed to be 95% effective, are making their way to every corner of the U.S. in ultra-cold freezers on planes and in trucks via FedEx and UPS after the FDA authorized the vaccine for emergency use.
Any delivery more memorable than this one?
No. I know it's a humbling experience to be a part of this because it's going to save a lot of lives.
This after nearly 300,000 Americans have already died, with officials warning the next 2 to 3 months could be some of the hardest yet when it comes to lives lost. Despite the progress in vaccinations, those on the front lines are urging Americans not to let their guard down.
There's light at the end of the tunnel, but we still need to continue to wear our masks, to social distance.
Along with healthcare workers, seniors and first responders will also get first priority when it comes to vaccinations. In Queens, New York, Rena Roy, ABC News.
Still ahead on 13 News at 4, the Health and Human Services Secretary discusses the logistics behind distributing the COVID-19 vaccine. We'll be right back.
You're watching 13 News at 4.
So we've had some really great submissions for the pick of the day recently, and here's another one that was sent to us by Holly Ackridge of Bowling Green. A recent sunrise and a beautiful one at that. Thank you, Holly, for that photo, and you can submit yours to WBKL.com/photos. Temperatures, they are cold. Most of them are at or below the freezing mark this Monday afternoon. Bowling Green at 32, 31 for Litchfield and Greenville, same for Madisonville. To the south and east, just a little bit warmer. Burkesville's at 38, same for Albany. Factor of the wind, and the wind chill factor is 26 for Hardinsburg, same for Litchfield. It also feels like 26 degrees here in Bowling Green. Grab the coat if you're heading out the door this evening. Same goes for early tomorrow morning. Next 13 hours, we won't have any rain or snow chances to deal with for that matter. We will be dry. Partial clearing that will happen later this evening, and then some high clouds will begin to roll in here ahead of a storm system arriving for late Tuesday. But notice the temperatures tomorrow morning getting well down into the 20s, so it will be a nippy start to our Tuesday. A little bit warmer tomorrow afternoon. We'll look into your 7-day in just a few.
A young woman is able to feel again after being paralyzed for a week. Amy Jo, a 19-year-old, was in a terrible car wreck that shattered her spine. The medical center was able to use pieces of donor spines to reconstruct Amy's so she can feel again. The surgery took around 9 hours. Her mother says it's been a difficult recovery for her daughter, who's very independent.
I'm like the type of person that goes places. I go out with people, like friends and stuff. Like, I can't do that. That sucks. I know it's stupid to cry about, but like, I can't do anything. And I used to do everything.
Amy Jo and her mother wanted to thank the hospital personnel for getting them through such a difficult time, and they ask everyone to consider becoming a donor to help others, like Amy was helped. As we continue with the biggest headline of the year, Meijer is announcing they too will be aiding in the administration of COVID-19 vaccines. In an effort to maximize access to COVID-19 vaccines, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services recently announced a partnership with various pharmacies, including Meijer, to provide access and convenience to it. As it prepares for vaccines to eventually be distributed, Meijer is focusing on a variety of initiatives to help it seamlessly provide COVID-19 vaccines to a large number of people. This includes the development of specific technical solutions to help the retailer manage both the volume of patients and the need for follow-up to ensure patients receive a second dose in a timely manner when required. As coronavirus vaccinations begin, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar discusses the thought process and logistics behind distributing the life-saving drugs. WBKO Gray Television D.C. Bureau reporter Kyle Madura asked him about the reasoning behind some states getting more than others.
A very simple formula, population for 18 and over, just on a per capita basis. We asked for feedback from our governors about how to allocate, and that was the only recommendation that came back from several of them. So keep it simple. It's transparent. The data, we're going to be making available what each state is getting, so folks will know. That should be coming up in the next several days, I would hope. We want to make that transparent. Of course, each governor knows what they're getting.
The Moderna vaccine will be reviewed by an expert panel Thursday and soon afterward could be allowed for public use.
This stock market report is brought to you by the retirement planning specialists at Tony Walker Financial. First Alert Weather, sponsored by MedCenter Health.
Well, after Saturday was so nice, I wasn't ready for the cold today, Shane.
Yeah, this was a slap in the face for sure. You know, Saturday we had a high of 67 degrees. When you factor in the wind chill today, it feels about 40 degrees colder than it did Saturday afternoon. A harsh bit of December reality outside for sure. And we've had plenty of low-grade clouds to keep it cold today, so it certainly has the look and feel of a day right in the middle of December. Let's take a live look outside with our AAA Systems webcam atop Wingate Hotel. We just could not rid ourselves of the low-grade clouds this afternoon. We showed you the clearing line earlier. It's now working in our western counties, but it's not going to get here quickly enough for us to see any of the sunshine as it will be setting soon in Bowling Green. 33 degrees right now. The northwest wind in here at 6 makes it feel like 28 right now with the wind chill factor. And you can see there is a bit of a breeze jiggling the camera around a little bit. 33 right now in Edmonton. Cloudy skies for you, and it's cold everywhere. Scottsville at 32. Clouds for you there in Allen County. Some of those clouds will thin out as we move through the evening, but we do expect high clouds from our next storm systems to start filling in by tomorrow morning, and there you see them on Future Max Predictor. Cold start to the morning. Temperatures down into the mid to upper 20s, and with a northeast breeze, it will feel a few degrees colder, so make sure you're dressed warmly for the weather, not just this evening, but heading out the door tomorrow morning. As for tomorrow afternoon, we're going to go into the mid to upper 40s. At least it will be a little bit warmer, not as warm as it was over the weekend, mind you, especially back on Saturday, as clouds will be thickening tomorrow afternoon. And then here comes rain entering the fray tomorrow night. And I say mainly rain. There could be a few wet snowflakes mixed in on the north and eastern sides of this rain shield as it first moves in during the wee hours of Wednesday morning. But for the most part, we're looking at just liquid here with what falls, as temperatures will be well above the freezing mark. The best chance for significant snow, it's going to be to the north, along and north of the Ohio River. So we're looking at rain to last into Wednesday afternoon before tapering to showers and ending by Wednesday night. Speaking of the rain, we're not talking about an incredible amount here. The NAM model projects about 0.2 of an inch of rain for us with this system, most of that coming late tomorrow night on into Tuesday. Naughty or nice for Tuesday? Well, we'll call it somewhere in between. At least it will be a dry commute tomorrow morning. Some clouds, but temperatures will be on the cold side, dropping all the way into the 20s later tonight. But we do see some warming down the stretch on the 10-day trend. Not so much later this week. There will be another shot of cold air arriving for Thursday, but by the weekend, temperatures recover back to near normal levels for this time of year. And then by Monday, we're looking at highs going into the 50s. And notice as we get closer and closer to Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, which is still some 11 to 12 days out, temperatures will be warming during that period. So probably not what you want to see if you want a white Christmas, but if you like warmer temperatures, I do think you will like what you see moving into next week. Tonight, though, will be cold. Overnight lows down in the mid to upper 20s. Calling for a low of about 25 for Bowling Green under partly cloudy skies. High clouds will begin to fill in during the day tomorrow. We'll call it a partly to mostly cloudy day. We may work some filtered sunshine in early on with a high of 46, at least warmer than it was today. 35 for the low tomorrow night, as rain will be likely late and then will last at least through Wednesday morning before ending by Wednesday afternoon with a cool high of 45. And again, I think we'll be warm enough that we're looking at mainly rain for this system. 27 for the low tomorrow night. A chilly 41 on Thursday, and then temperatures recover to near seasonal levels by the weekend. There is another shower chance on the board for Saturday, with Sunday and Monday looking dry and warmer at this time. Lows will warm also for the 20s Thursday night into the 30s by the weekend. Know the weather by downloading the First Alert weather app for your iPhone or Android. Gene?
Thank you, Shane. Kentucky's 8 electors have officially cast their ballots for president and vice president. The in-person ceremony took place inside the state capitol in Frankfort earlier today. The first Monday after the second Tuesday in December after the presidential election, in accordance to the Constitution, sees a meeting of the Electoral College. Kentucky has 8 electors, and each of them voted to choose Donald Trump as president and Mike Pence as vice president. It's a process that is much different than the popular vote that chooses other office holders. Electors say it's one they want to see continue.
So well for so long. The only people that want to get rid of the electoral process are from about 4 or 5 states that if we got rid of the electoral process, you might as well just let 4 or 5 states elect your president.
All the ballots will be mailed to Washington, D.C., where Congress will meet on January 6th to count and certify the results. Kentucky Secretary of State Michael Adams, noting the uniqueness of this election, says he would like to see legislation passed to make it easier to vote. Do you have a story idea or something you feel we should cover? There's an easy way to send it our way. Head on over to WBKO.com and click that Submit a Story link in the right-hand corner of the page. We'll be right back. We go back to Lauren Hansen at the Medical Center now, where the first COVID vaccines were delivered today, and the first shot was administered a short time ago. Lauren?
That's right, Gene. As I told you earlier, I did get a few tears in my eyes when I heard that the COVID-19 vaccines had been delivered, because as a lot of people say, they feel like their day began in March and never quite ended. We are in December now, 9 months into the pandemic. More than 2,000 people across Kentucky have lost their lives due to COVID-19, including one of MedCenter Health Zone, Dr. Rebecca Shadowan, who lost her battle with COVID-19 earlier this year. And they're saying that this might be the beginning of the light at the end of the tunnel, but we must stay vigilant. We still must wear our mask. We must remain socially distant, and also we must continue hand washing and good hygiene practices. And now the first dose was administered this afternoon to Dr. William Moss, the medical director of the emergency department. That happened just a couple of hours ago. And the first 5 doses went to frontline healthcare workers at MedCenter Health, including the emergency department, infectious disease, medical services, respiratory services, and a paramedic. And so the first Pfizer doses arrived in Kentucky on Sunday. They got to the medical center this morning. And Governor Beshear's goal is to vaccinate everyone in long-term care facilities by March 1st. The first doses are going to healthcare worker and to long-term care facilities, and then proceed to educators. And he expects vaccinations for the general population to be available around spring or summer. And we'll have more coming up on 13 News at 5 and 6 o'clock, including talking to the first person who received the first vaccine in Bowling Green. But for now, Lauren Hansen, 13 News.
Tomorrow should be a better weather day overall for us. I think we'll work some sunshine in here for Tuesday, and as a result, temperatures should be a little bit warmer. We'll climb into the mid-30s at 10 a.m. after being in the 20s to begin the day, and go into the low to middle 40s during the afternoon with a high of around 46 degrees for Bowling Green. Clouds will thicken once again late in the day, and shower chances will return by tomorrow night. G?
Thank you, Shane, and thank you all for joining us here on 13 News at 4. More live local news coming your way in just 30 minutes.